person that broke the curse of the Bambino.
Correct.
He should have his own wing in Cooperstown.
He should.
He really should.
He absolutely should. And he did it at such a young age. Like, he was in his early 40s. Like, he wasn't 50 or 60. Like, he was
away
very early in his age. Yes.
I mean, you talking Herculean. To end the curse of the Bambino and win one on the north side of Chicago, explain that to the person saw a lot of the Red Sox success before going into the deep sleep. And number one, Tiger Woods only has one more major since you get conked out. He had 14 when you went deep. You come out of it. He's had as many surgeries and a near fatal car wreck as he did majors.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right, sir.
That's mine, Darren.
All right. I'm going to move up my list a little bit. And it's not too much on the fly. Everything is right here in front of me. But I had two close calls. I'll give you my two close calls. One was the game of the century, LSU 9, Bama 6.
Bryant always has an outside looking in.
Oh, yes, he always does my outside looking in. And my other outside looking in was the Cubs break the curse 2016, 108-year drought. Now, initially, I'm going to go ahead and give you this. I'm going to omit this because this was an act of God, I believe. Kobe passing was my number one. I'm going to go ahead and omit that because I had so many. All the rest are just going to fall back in line. Stay with me. Number 5, those 7 consecutive Tour de France's that my man Lance Armstrong had are all stripped, buddy, and mired in scandal. He was doping. USADA stripped him of every last one of them, and his whole image. His entire image was wrecked. Before you went in, buddy, he had 7. You come out, he has 0 because they are stripped, and they are not being returned to him in the near future. Those are gone. Number 4, Tom Brady just retired, buddy, 2 years ago at age 45. When you went in, he was a Super Bowl champion of only 3. He got 7. He got
and was married to Gisele Bundchen.
And he was married. Oh, and
took football over Gisele.
Yeah, the power couple is no longer.
And those were back-to-back Super Bowls, too.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the fact that, hey, the entire time you were asleep, he was just, aging gracefully. Here's a picture of him. Look at him.
Drinking cucumber milkshakes.
He looks better than both of us right now. My number 3, because I moved everything up. In 2010, Reggie Bush won the 2005 Heisman Trophy, buddy. Now that you're up, guess what? He's been stripped of it, and it's been given, and it's been returned. And why did all of that happen? This thing, because now you have to explain to said buddy what's name, image, and likeness. Yeah. So I'm kind of wrapping all of that up. The fact that Reggie won it, had it stripped and given back well before you got up, and we have to explain what name, image, and likeness. And I think that's gonna blow his mind. So they can actually accept money now. Yes, they can. They absolutely can. That's my number 3. My number 2. He did not win 2. He didn't win 3 or 4 or 5. No, he did win 2. He didn't win not 3, not 4, not 5. Before you went into your coma, the Miami Heat had their welcome party for LeBron and Chris Bosh and all of those guys. And that's when he had the mic, and they kind of set him up for LeBron. We don't want to see one championship, because I rewatched the video last night. He didn't just auspiciously just come out. They set him up for that. We don't want one, LeBron. How many can you give us? Not 2. Not 3. He only won 2, buddy. Because when you went into your coma, one would say that, hey, that was one of the greatest, or the beginning of the super teams. You would have thought that they would have won 3, 4, 5, or 6 the same way we would have thought Golden State would have done it. But he did not. He only won 2. I think that is going to be one of the biggest shocks, is that not only did he not win, they broke it up. He went back to Cleveland to win another championship. And he's won one with the Lakers. So wake up, buddy. I'm glad you're back. LeBron has done a number on you again. And number 1, great minds think alike. In that 2009 SUV crash, when you saw...
After being defeated by Y.A. Yang at the PGA.
Every bit of it. When you saw his leg, his ankle was crushed, and you just thought it was the end. All of us were ready to see a healthy Tiger Woods on air talking about the game. This guy comes back and he wins a Masters. I know you couldn't have thought of it. I hate to tell you this, buddy. He's still the greatest of all time in my book. But we both had Tiger.
All right. Well, mine is surprisingly, some of it is a collective thing that we all share, and some of mine, none of y'all even touched. So I'm pretty excited about this.
Go for it.
My number 5. The curse is over. The Cubs finally get their World Series. No longer. Just imagine. I mean, you go down. Cubs still haven't gotten, and still even a little bit in depth into your coma. You still have to wait a little bit before the Cubs finally get that. Number 4, I took a little bit of a different approach to the golfing world. The prodigy was supposed to be Rory McIlroy. He started out in 2007 being a professional, and everybody thought this guy's the next Tiger Woods. He's going to do it. It took him to about 2012, 2013 to get rolling. But the thing to explain is that it took him 11 additional years to finally complete the Grand Slam and get his Masters victory. Number 3, we've all touched on it. There's no more BCS. Instead, we have now moved to the college football playoffs. And on top of that, now the transfer portal's a mess. On top of that, we now have NIL.
Hard to explain college sports.
Yeah, you have to explain what a transfer.
It's near impossible. I don't think you can do it.
Living it's hard for us to all realize it.
And on top of this, right now, we're still trying to explain
it's almost put me in a coma.
We're still trying to explain this portion is that now schools are directly paying their players. Yeah. That just got approved not long ago.
Just cash everywhere.
You should just go back to sleep for a little bit. Maybe we'll figure it out in another 15 years. Who knows what we're going to do there. My number 2 is the entire world being shaken up by LeBron leaving Cleveland, joining the Heat, only to go back to Cleveland to now you wake up he's a Laker and playing with his son.
And there it is. Yeah. So there's the piece that I was waiting. I'm glad you got to that. I want to add that to you. Not only Buddy that just woke up, is he playing with Bronny, but don't look out now. Next year, here comes Bryce.
Yeah. I mean, what's going on here now? I mean, you got to wake up. You go down. LeBron is...
Those little tykes are now playing with Papa.
He's playing with his son, Bronny, as a Laker. Unbelievable. And my number 1... This one is for a sports fan, for anybody who appreciates just the legends in any industry. You're telling me that a YouTuber named Jake Paul got Mike Tyson to come out of retirement and have a boxing match that he ended up winning, quote unquote, I'm going to say. Yeah. Imagine explaining that to somebody, that Mike Tyson came out of retirement to box a former YouTuber.
Before 2009 and 2010, I wouldn't have thought that Tyson would have even been associated with anything wouldn't have recognized any of that. So I'm with you on that.
Yeah,
I'm totally with you on that.
That's what 15 years can do for you, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's amazing. That kind of like-mindedness. Where do we all hit? Kind of Cubbies, golf,
Tiger.
Tiger.
Y'all both had LeBron takes.
Yes, LeBron.
Oh, you had to. I mean, that was otherworldly.
I cracked on baseball every chance I get with Manfred.
I think. I mean, in all honesty, the collection of the stories have kind of told the story of the past 15 years.
The biggest take in list season. We are in list season, aren't we?
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Hierarchy.
Who else out there is doing a coma list?
Nobody, Brett. We're trailblazers.
And these were actually good. These were good lists.
Wait till we go local in an hour.
We go local. We got one more.
Less than an hour.
We have one more. But I thought the Lance Armstrong one really, because he was an All-American boy.
Yeah.
If you recall.
Oh, he's wearing his bracelet?
Absolutely.
Now, his name's Bud.
What was it? Lance Strong?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was Lance Strong. I forget about that. I forgot about the wristbands. But before he went to sleep, you never thought
he can't get a call return.
He couldn't get a call return. Absolutely not. You would have never thought that Lance not only wouldn't have been what he was, that he would have been stripped. USADA just took all 7 of them.
The fall can be great. When we come back, we'll wrap up this hour with Big Number of the Day. You're listening to Sports Time.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Memphis is a love song to soul and style. With the full suite of sought-after designers, brilliant natural diamonds, an elegant bar, luxury VIP lounge, and more, a trip to our store is an experience like no other. Just like the city we love. Stop by any of our stores or visit sissyslogcabin.com and experience Sissy's for yourself. Memphis is our home, and we're your jeweler.
Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
NSD's been taking down insurance giants for over 35 years. Big firm power with hometown heart? Yeah, they don't play. It's that combination that has helped them win billions for their clients. NSD is the way to go. Call 683-7000.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone, now through July 28th. Restrictions apply.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner. Maybe start with an appetizer like our baked sweet peculiar peppers stuffed with goat cheese and mozzarella, finish with basil pistou, and move on to one of our cozy dishes like the double chocolate stout braised boneless beef short ribs with tonkatsu sauce and creamy mashed potatoes, or a fresh seafood dish like our pan-roasted ginger buttered sea bass with cilantro soy vinaigrette. I get hungry just talking about it. Don't forget about dessert, our famous sweet buttermilk pie with brown sugar sauce, or drink your dessert with one of our signature dessert cocktails, like the lemon cheesecake martini, lemony, icy, frothy, and dusted with graham cracker crumbs. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us. We can't wait to serve you.
Congratulations to Napa Cafe, celebrating 27 years of great food and service for you. Napa Cafe.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Brian Davis.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
I'm going to start with the number 10.
Okay.
Last year in Heisman Trophy balloting, they list the top 10. Well, we know who won it. Travis Hunter from the Big 12 from Colorado. Fifth from the Big 12 was Cam Scattaboo. I call him Little John Riggins with Arizona State. He was fifth. Eighth was Shedeur Sanders at Colorado. So three from the Big 12 out of the top 10. How many from the SEC? Zero.
Hard to believe.
SEC last year did not win it all, did not play for it all, and had zero players in a top 10. Here's your top 10. 1, Travis Hunter. 2, Ashton Jenney. 3, Dylan Gabriel. 4, Cam Ward. 5, Cam Scattaboo. 6, Bryson Daly. 7, Tyler Warren, tight end, Penn State. 8, Shedeur Sanders. 9, Curtis Rourke at Indiana. And 10, Kyle McCord. Thought it meant more.
It used to. It still does, but it hurts. Those numbers hurts. And those are facts that you're giving out. Those aren't opinions. Those are facts that we're not playing in it and we're not competing for it. So my big number of the day, I'm going to keep it simple. We've hit on it, but I thought we would have dived into it a little more, but it's 2. And those are the number of all-stars that the locals, from the local area.
Good.
Hunter Goodman of Arlington, catcher, University of Memphis alum.
Arlington Tiger, Memphis Tiger.
Yep. He's hitting 281, 16 home runs, 50 ribbies right now, 25-year-old well-earned first all-star appearance. And then we go to our next guy, outfielder, DHer. This is his second all-star nod in 3 years. Brent Rooker, Germantown outfielder. He's hitting 271 right now, 18 home runs, 48 RBIs, and he's on pace for his third consecutive 30 home run season. So kudos to both of those guys. We wish we could have gotten more. There was a guy that used to play at DeSoto Central that, we would have hoped would have been there as well. But kudos to you. We're glad to see you there
representing the homeless A's, right?
The homeless A's, as we call them. But we are so glad that they are there representing the Mid-South. We love it when we see our pros get their shine on, so to speak.
Right, I'm glad for them. What do you think in general, the concept of everybody having a representative?
I like at least one. Because
you do,
especially like you said, where the state
Colorado
of the game
has one, but it's local, so we like it more.
But where the state of the game is, if I'm in Denver, Colorado, and all I have is, I think they have multiple in Colorado, or is there just one? But anyway, if I'm in a city where where a team only has one player, I'm invested. That's my one guy that I'm holding on to. That's the one jersey that I want as a kid. That's the one player that I can't wait on that Tuesday. And it's just an all-star game. But don't hurt my feelings and not put him in there on that Tuesday if I'm just that one. Because I'm holding on to it.
You know the great story. The year they went to everybody had a representative, I think was either 74 or 75, and there was a famous wisecracking guy in sports that would sneak into things, even snuck into the free throw line and got up free throws at Boston Garden at the 74 finals. Yeah, Google
off.
and he would sneak into things, and he sneaks into All-Star game pregame as they're taking batting practice and shagging balls. And he's standing out there by the Cleveland Indians, their only representative, and they were real bad. And this guy's name was Sid Monge, M-O-N-G-E. So the guy standing out there, he said, the sports fraudster is standing out there by Sid Monge. He goes, I'm a fraud. I really don't belong here. And Sid Monge said, neither do I.
Neither do I. That's a good one.
But that guy was famous for sneaking, snuck into ABC's, not into a broadcast booth, but into the control room in Innsbruck at the winter. I mean, around Root Arledge and Chet 40 and around the dials.
Oh, he definitely couldn't get away with that today. With the heightened security, you have to have passcodes, cards, key cards, fobs.
They had a guy a few years ago that used him kind of as his model.
To pull it off.
But it's big
not
illegal.
To that effect, yeah.
I mean, not to starting with trespassing.
Absolutely.
And the guy that was modeling after the 70s fraudster, he would get one of kind of one of those standard issue jackets. It's might say Georgia Dome on it or what, and got in, and that's very illegal to impersonate something like that.
Trespassing, you end up with a little bit of fraud. I mean, there's a lot of places you can go with it.
Well, and this guy, what got him, it makes sense. Guess the venue that he broke into, and they were on top of him in seconds and had him at central booking.
L.A.
Augusta National.
Augusta, okay. Absolutely. Oh, okay. Yeah.
If you don't belong they're gonna find you.
Oh, absolutely. They'll find them anyway.
They got I'm convinced that Augusta National, they have people embedded that looks like Joe Q
and they should.
Patriot.
Yeah.
And they're looking for
security
goofy
detail.
badges and maybe even listening. I snuck in.
Yes.
I'm convinced they have
unmarked security detail.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing wrong. I mean,
nothing
they're not
wrong
doing
with
anything
it.
wrong.
Not doing anything wrong, but keeping you safe.
I agree with that.
I agree. That's it.
And
That's it.
There's so much we can model after Augusta National. Landon, did you have a big number?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, not today.
I don't know if you.
I can give you one. 15 years, 765, no All-Star, 0. I need an All-Star appearance out of Soto.
The first time.
21 homers.
The first time definitely was a cheap shot. That's a low blow.
That was just a direct shot.
You got to give me an All-Star appearance your first go around.
21
I'm
homers.
trading you.
Most of those came out of June.
He's on the trading block.
I'll give you another
trading
big
block.
number.
Get out of here, bro.
1 hour to go on this Monday. You're listening to Sports Time.
Marshall Steakhouse is a feast for the eyes as well as the body. Enjoy all American USDA prime steaks, aged 30 days or more, and other delicious meats inside. Marshall Steakhouse in Holly Springs, named the #1 steakhouse in Mississippi by the Food Network, and named in the top 2 most legendary steakhouses in the South by Southern Living Magazine. Make reservations today and get free bread pudding by calling 662-252-2424 or online at marshallsteakhouse.com. Marshall Steakhouse in Holly Springs, a Southern treat.
Here's comedian Howie Mandel for hands-free Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins.
I'm holding a new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-in sneaker, and first of all, I barely know I'm holding it. It's that light. You see, Cozy Fit is a cool new sneaker where the upper is made of a soft quilted material. It's kind of like a little puffer jacket for your feet, except it looks like a super stylish sneaker.
Introducing new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins, the latest comfort creation from Skechers. You can find Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Jenkins Floors and More invites you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. Also stores in Cleveland, Mississippi and Little Rock. They specialize in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds. Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects, call 662-913-7883 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
Memphis Public Links has so much going on right now. Audubon is right around the fairway. Wait until you see when this thing is a finished product. Fox Meadows is in great shape. The links at Pine Hill is now a masterpiece of a place to play, as are really all the other Memphis Public golf courses. Galloway is playing like a championship course. They just finished the 75th year of the OPO, and Overton Park is now talked about in that layout all across the state. And by the way, folks, it's so easy to make a tee time. The hard part is getting your buddies to pick their time. You go online to memphispubliclinks.com, select your course, then grab your tee time. Simple, easy, and incredibly convenient. Also, on the website is a schedule of upcoming events. There you'll find something that will interest you. Again, if you want to book a tee time or find out more about tournaments or other events at any of the great Memphis public golf courses, go online to memphispubliclinks.com.
This traffic brought to you by Raleigh Tire Auto Service, your local family-owned business for over 60 years.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. A little bit heavier volume of traffic out of Midtown, just to the
Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with John Harden. Weekdays from 11 to 1. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Brian out today, Darian Newsom in, co-hosting with me on Sports Time. 1 hour to go today. Tomorrow will just be me and Landon, and Bryant will be back in here with us on Wednesday, and we look forward to that. He sure deserves it and hope he's enjoying his time off. We know the college football media days are underway. I will be in Atlanta next week for SEC Media Days, but we go out to Frisco, Texas, to the Star, to the Cowboys' great complex, and we're joined by Matt Murschel from the Orlando Sentinel. Matt Murschel often joins us to talk college football. He's on Twitter at OS Matt Murschel. He is with the Orlando Sentinel and Tribune, covering UCF and college football and the Big 12. Matt, your summer lasted about 2 weeks, didn't it?
Yeah. What summer is what I keep telling people nowadays. You know, it's incredible. I had someone bring this up to me a few weeks ago about the idea of what's the biggest change in college athletics from now until like a decade ago. And I said, the fact that it's a 365-day-a-year business now. You know, there is very few off months. You know, used to be guys would take months off and you never heard from a coach or a player, you know, for maybe, 30 to 60 days. Now everyone's doing something, and we're right back at it again here in Media Days down in Frisco, Texas.
And Matt, imagine not only people covering the teams, but like sports information and administration for those teams that have that long run in Omaha. whoo, you turn around and you leave Omaha, you go home and get the washing machine going, and then you're at media days.
Yeah, very much so, and you're back at it. And I've talked to a few people like that who said that there just hasn't been much of a chance to turn around and unwind, and I think that's something that's just going to be a symptom of what's going on in the sporting world here, in the college sporting world. You mentioned obviously with baseball, when baseball ends, when football begins. Now they're talking about moving up. What is it? Week 0 now would maybe become the first week of the season. You're talking about putting that in there as well. That moves up.
We'll have media days on Memorial Weekend.
Exactly. I don't know if my wife would appreciate that, or everyone else's spouses would appreciate that. But it's just symptomatic of everything that's going on right now in college.
Brett Yormark should be very proud of what he's accomplished with the Big 12, don't you think?
Yeah, he should be. I mean, listen, this was 3 years ago. This league was on life support. This league was to the point of being possibly, a collapse, and it was not going to be around and be relevant. And all of a sudden, Brett, came in and picked up where Bob Bowlesby had really started to make a move of adding some new teams, adding some new members, and he just really ran with it. And now you look at the media rights deal they have is way better than it was the previous time. You look at the membership they brought in, the interest that's come from the league. They've just done some great things outside with basketball and some of their other sports, and you've seen this league grow. And I think that's something that no one would have thought about maybe 5 to 8 years ago when you're talking about it. And now you come in here and you've got teams that played in the college football playoff last year in Arizona State. You're going to try to maybe add some more teams, depending on how the college football playoff committee looks at expansion. So he's in a lot better situation, this league is, under Brett Yormark than it's been in quite some time.
Okay. So you just said 3 years ago, this conference possibly felt like it was on life support. My notes here scream that it's in fuego right now. I have all kind of notes in front of me, from Rich Rod to Coach Prime to the Texas Tech hype to the Arizona State swag. But the first question, man, I want to ask you is, I saw your tweet earlier today about that luxurious flight. Was that okay?
Yeah.
Being in the back by that restaurant.
Sometimes, being in the back isn't so bad when you think about, you get a lot of space to get up and move around a little bit than you do in the other thing. But, I mean, listen, it is these trips, it's about getting down here and getting fun and figuring out how everything's going. And you're right, there's a lot going on here. This is again, a year with the league. Last year they were in Las Vegas, and there was a lot of attention in Las Vegas and buzz about this league. Now they're in Dallas, and we're talking about Rich Rod being back. And you're looking at what happened with Colorado. Can Dion kind of replicate a little bit with the success they had, even with Shedeur and Travis Hunter being gone? You look at what Arizona State did. They were picked to finish dead last in the Big 12. All of a sudden now they're probably going to be one of the favorites. And then you look at the fact that, you've got other storylines. Texas Tech has spent a lot of money in the offseason to build its roster. This is a league now with so much going on that I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next, 6 months.
Yeah, so we're definitely glad you made it. So my one question to you is, just a couple of hours ago, the preseason all Big 12 team was released. And you just made mention of going basically from worst to first with Sam Levitt and his Arizona State team. But my eyes dropped to the newcomer of the year, Devin Dampier. If he is going to live up to the hype of being the newcomer of the year, how well or how good would that make that Utah Utes team?
Yeah, I think it would be huge. I mean, we know what the job that Kyle Whittingham has done over since he's been at Utah. They've always been able to do a lot with less. I mean, I think this is another situation. They bring in a guy like Devin Dampier. They had so many issues at quarterback last year. If they can find a way to bounce back and make a big, strong push, they can put themselves right in that discussion about contending for a conference championship. They have some pieces. Spencer Fano, an offensive line, is a big piece for them. What they want to be able to do. Smith Snowden is another one that they're bringing in this weekend, for their media days. They've got some guys right now I think that would be huge for them. So Devin stepping in and being able to kind of maybe, take that next step of a winning hand would be huge for them. And you look around, and there's plenty of opportunities to do that. There isn't. Yes, Arizona State's going to be the favorite. Yes, Baylor's going to be one of the favorites. But you look what happens at BYU. You look what's going on at some of the other schools. There's no given that these schools are going to be the title winners. So Utah's still got an excellent opportunity.
Former Arizona State coach said you play to win the game.
Yeah, he sure did. And the current Arizona State coach, with a lot of friends in this area, in Kenny Dillingham, and a lot of them predicting big things for him. I don't know if they thought it was going to happen this fast or as fast as it happened, but who could be the coach this year that pulls a Kenny Dillingham from last year in the Big 12, Matt?
Well, I think one that could is look at Joey McGuire at Texas Tech.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, is there any more of a coach that's under a lot of pressure to win, considering the fact that his boosters and everyone have spent a lot of money, for this roster, for this lineup? I mean, they've gone all in. They've put their chips in the middle of the table and said, we're all in on this. So Texas Tech has a chance maybe to make that big push. I think, you look up and down the line, I think you can make the case that maybe Dave Aranda, Dave Aranda, who a few years ago, early last year, people thought Dave Aranda wasn't even going to be around to make it to the end. Now they kind of bounce back towards the second half of the season. Can Sawyer Robertson take that next step at quarterback? Can their offense put up some points? I think, you always got to look at a team like Iowa State with Matt Campbell. I mean, he's done a pretty amazing job. Rocco Beck's back, another talented quarterback. Chris Kleiman at Kansas State is another one. There is a lot of parity. I remember last year, Brett Yormark talking about parity, how this league had so much parity. I still think there's parity there. It's just maybe some different teams maybe than we were talking about last year.
We did our way too early college football playoff bracket on June 27th, just a week or so ago, 10 days ago, and I have 3 from the Big 12. That would just be a gigantic win, wouldn't it?
Oh, for sure. I mean, if they could find a way to get some teams to be right then and there at the top, going into the playoff, I think that would be huge for them. And it's another reason why we're talking about the future of the college football playoff and its format and this 4-4-2-2-1 format or the 5-11 format that everyone's talking about. It's a reason why the Big 12 wants to try to get as many spots as it can possibly can. They don't want to be limited. They don't want to think to themselves, okay, we're going to be lucky if we get 2 teams in. They want to try to get as much as they can. That helps out in the big picture-wise. I mean, the more teams you get in the playoff, the more times we're talking about the Big 12, the better it is for this league, the more money it generates, all those things end up paying off, and they end up helping things out for the league as a whole.
What's the plan Matt Murschel wants? If they handed you and said, you draw us up a bracket, how would you do it?
At this point, I mean, I think 5-11 to me works, the 5-11 model. I mean, you give your 5 conference champions, and then you go and add the 11 at large. You just pick how they're ranked. But I'm at the point now, listen, guys, we're at July, and they can't seem to come to a consensus on what they want to do. I'm a big believer of why not just stay at 12 at this point? Stay at 12 and see what happens over the next couple of years, and then maybe make that move to 16 once they can sit down and settle on things. But everywhere you hear it's, oh, we like this, and oh, we like that, and we're not sure about this, and we're not sure about that. That's not what you want to hear from these guys at this point. If you can't settle on something, if you can't decide what's best for everybody and what's best for the sport, I mean, maybe it's best to stay at 12 with the current system, everything going into the seating that it is, and stick it that way. But I think 5-11 is the format I think would be best. I think you'd see a lot of opportunities. The SEC is going to get their chances. Obviously, they've got good teams. The Big Ten is going to get their chances if their teams are at the top. But it opens the door for a lot of other leagues like the Big 12 and the ACC, if they want a chance to get some teams in, as well.
And always the language for Notre Dame. And we've changed the seeding this year. Notre Dame could potentially this year be the number 1 overall seed.
Yeah, I mean, and that's something that Notre Dame is excited about. I mean, listen, there was talk when this all began, they weren't going to be able to be in that top 4 spot. They were going to more likely be in the 5 spot. And now, they can have an opportunity to do that. I think that helps open the door. I think the seeding, changing it the way it is, would make things a little bit easier than it was last year. Obviously, it was confusing for fans. You never want to make your playoff confusing to people who are trying to watch it. They want to make it as easy as possible. So I think there are opportunities there. It's it's disappointing to hear so many people go back and forth on this and can't find an actual solution to it. When they got to get the decision done by December, because that's when they got to sit down with their TV partners and finally come to some sort of agreement, or else they're going to have to figure out what's going to happen.
Matt, what would a Big 12 media day be without a question for about one Mr. Coach Prime, Deion Sanders? So here I go. We sort of knew Coach Prime's players previously to this, and I'm speaking of his heavy hitters, the Travises and the Shadurs and Silos and things like that, because they followed him. They had a social media influence. They were polarizing, to say the least. As I look at this Big 12, all Big 12 team, I only see two players from Colorado on here, one offensively, Jordan Seaton, and one defensively, who's actually named, let's see.
DJ McKinney.
DJ McKinney, there it is down there below, DJ McKinney. So my question is, aside from those two, who are the I guess, quote unquote, primetime players that Coach Prime will lean on that we don't know right now, but could possibly be a household name by the end of the season if all goes well?
Yeah, that's a good question for Colorado. I think they're just going to start at the quarterback position. They brought in the former Liberty quarterback Cladonis Sotos. They brought him in to run the offense. He hasn't been named the starter, but they've got an incoming freshman they feel really highly on. They've got a few other players that they're bringing back from this year. I think, to me, for Deion is okay. You've shown what you can do with, like you mentioned, all these players that you brought in. Now you've got to bring in some guys that you've been recruiting. You've got to find a way to do it better. Here's a stat, guys, that is the key to Colorado having any sort of success. They have given up 99 sacks in the last 2 seasons. You can't win at a consistent level when you give up 99 sacks.
Shedeur Sanders lucky to be upright.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I think last year they gave up 43 sacks. And the year before, it was over 50 sacks. The idea being, if you can build that offensive line, and if you can get the offensive line to be better than it was the last 2 seasons, you're going to have a better chance of winning football games. You're going to have a better chance of running the football. You're going to have a better chance of doing some things. I watched Colorado play last year. They came to UCF. They looked amazing at times, but there was so much pressure on Shedeur Sanders. Now, some of those sacks were him. Some of those were scrambling out of the pocket, trying to do some things that you think you could do that you aren't going to be able to do that. But some of it is also the fact that their offensive line just rotated every week. It was a different offensive line. So those are keys to me. I think the offensive line helping out, I think that's going to be huge for Deion. And I think, again, it's not trying to find instant replacements for Travis Hunter. It's not trying to find the next Shedeur Sanders. He's just going to have to continue to go forward with what he's done and try to find ways that those guys will help step up, and maybe the guys he has now will be able to step up and help out, because I think it's going to be a challenge if they try to find out, okay, you're going to be the next Travis Hunter. That's not fair to whoever's behind him.
Play both sides of the ball, if you would like. Yeah,
exactly. So I think for me, that's what Colorado is. They're a sneaky team that if they can find some guys to step up and make some plays, and they can protect the quarterback, I think they have an opportunity to do something nice.
Matt, 2 years in, Rick George, I think he would say Deion Sanders has been worth every penny.
Yes, for sure. You brought him in. He's helped pay. Look at the excitement generated around Colorado. This is a program that they had so much attention. You look at the revenue they've generated, from all their games. You look at what's going on with NIL, revenue sharing. I think Deion has been a huge part of that.
And a Heisman Trophy winner. They're second ever with late Rashawn Salam in 1994. We're visiting with Matt Michelle from the Orlando Sentinel. He covers UCF and the Big 12. Let's talk about that team you know so very well. UCF, we used to always follow them and keep up with them very closely here in Memphis when they were conference mates, and now it's kind of back to the past with Scott Frost. Take 2 for him in Orlando.
Yeah, very much so. Scott was brought in. A lot of excitement surrounding that hiring. Gus Malzahn, left to take the offensive coordinator job at Florida State. Scott's name was immediately brought up at first, and now that he's been there, it's one of those deals where can he recapture that magic? He was here at UCF for only 2 seasons, but that second season was a heck of a good one. You think about it. It was a perfect season, 13-0. They went on and beat Auburn in the in a playoff game. I think that was huge for them. Now Scott, he didn't have success at Nebraska, so to speak. So now he comes back to Orlando. He's had a few years away from the college game. Has he been able to adjust? It's been somewhat of a challenge in the first 5 months. When he left, there was no transfer portal the way it was now. There was really no NIL. That's all changed. Now you throw in the fact that there's revenue sharing coming in.
There was no Big 12 when he was there.
There was no exactly. And everyone was in the American. So all of a sudden now he's finding ways to kind of adjust. He brought in his own coaching staff, some familiar faces and a couple of new guys. He brought in Mackenzie Milton. As your fans probably know, from quarterback from UCF. He's now the quarterback coach. And he's come in and helped out. They brought in 60 new players. Their roster was just gutted after Gus left. So he brought in a bunch of new transfers. He's been trying to get those guys together to buy into that family atmosphere kind of thing that he did back when he was here the first time around. And so far, the players have really been loving it. They've been enjoying it. But he goes into a year where it's going to be one of those years where it may be the ceiling may be 6 wins. It may not be very high because of the fact that they're going to have some challenges. But I think if you can start building the foundation, I think there's an opportunity for them to go back and have some success.
And Matt, we know often, I bet you've done this big feature in the offseason. We know often that second tour of duty is never like the first time. I can go through them. John Robinson at USC, Johnny Majors at Pitt. It never recaptures that magic. But we could be finding out about Scott Frost that it wasn't Scott Frost at Nebraska. It may just be Nebraska is undoable.
Yeah, I think you talked to a lot of people who were around Scott during his time in Nebraska, and there was a lot of pressure on him. When he took the job to go there, there were a lot of people who felt like he was going to walk in and have instant success, and it never happened. There were a lot of people who were rooting against him, not to have success at Nebraska, and he struggled with some of that. He admits it. It never felt right, and he kind of has said several times to us, he kind of, if the situation had been different, he wouldn't have left. He would have stayed at UCF. And who knows what would have happened then? But again, this is a guy now getting a second chance. And you're right, there aren't a lot of coaches who've had second chances that have come through. But this is a league, if you think about it, is going to have the same scenario. Look at Rich Rod at West Virginia. He had a lot of success at West Virginia. He left to go chase bigger things. Now he's back, and he recaptured that same sort of thing at West Virginia. So this is a league that's got a couple of coaches like that. I think Scott right now is really trying to get his feet on the ground, trying to make sure he got himself set up right, and then see where things go. You're right. The Big 12 UCF wasn't in the Big 12 at that point. The money that's being spent now by UCF is a lot different than the money that was spent, 8 years ago. So he's trying to figure out everything and kind of navigate this landscape, and he hopes to be able to get everything kind of on the right track if everything kind of clicks the right way.
Matt, you kind of set us up for this because my next question actually entails both Rich Rod and Scott Frost because both are homecomings coming back, but neither were in this conference the first go around, the job. So my question is, who will have the larger impact, as of right now going forward on this current season? Will it be Rich Rod going back home to West Virginia or Scott Frost? You already said the ceiling may be 6 games, but tell us, which one will have the greater impact going back in the Big 12?
I think this year, it's going to be Rich Rod. I just think, the West Virginia program has a lot better footing going forward. They've been in the Big 12 for a while. The money is being there. I think people tend to not understand that UCF wasn't getting a full share of the Big 12 media money the first 2 seasons it was in the Big 12. It was only getting half a share. So it was trying to basically run its budget, a Power 4 budget on a shoestring, on a dime, and it wasn't able to really do that. West Virginia's had that opportunity already. They've been doing that for a while. I think Rich Rod, if you think about it, he's had recent success. Look what he did at Jacksonville State. He took them to 11 wins, back-to-back conference championships, and I think Conference USA. He has had some success. Now, again, they're in the same a little bit about UCF. Their roster was changed and flipped over, and they're going to bring in some guys and see what happens. But I think as of right now, he's got a better chance. Now, long term, it just depends on what happens with UCF and its financial stability and how things go forward from there. If Scott can continue to kind of build a roster, and he's trying to do it a little differently, kind of like what he did back in the early days, where you lean heavily on recruiting and high school players and try to sprinkle in some really talented transfers. But if they can kind of find a way to get their footing there, maybe long term he's got a chance to put together some good stuff. But again, it all just kind of depends on what happens over the next couple of years.
Matty, enjoy Frisco. Enjoy all the stories. Enjoy the Star. I know the Cotton Bowl people will be around, Big 12 kicking it off this week, and we'll catch up with you, I know, a bunch during the course of the football season. But enjoy the week, and we look forward to reading and following along.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Matt Michelle with us from the Orlando Sentinel. He covers UCF, and he is in Dallas at Frisco, Texas for Big 12 Media Days. I mentioned earlier, Frisco at one time, it was out in the boondocks.
Yeah.
And now it's gotten closer and closer to Irving, into central Dallas, and, the Cowboys out there with – the old days of Valley Ranch, they've moved way past that.
Now, I'm familiar with the area, but I obviously don't know it like the back of my hand of Memphis. But what was strange to me is I'm seeing reports out of Frisco, Irving, and Dallas. So it's like, where exactly is it? Is it all together?
Well, you never really know you're from one to the other.
Yeah.
But you are. Yeah. It's kind of from where the old Cotton Bowl Stadium in Fair Park is. It is well north of that.
Okay, because I'm seeing reports, they're like in Frisco, in Dallas, in Irving. I know it's all one, but it's just how big that area is.
I'll bet you somewhere there they'll have this sign, because the late, great Phil Cannon used to do it out here at the golf tournament, especially the early years of the move to TPC Southwind. He would have in the media room, Dateline, Memphis. He didn't want to see any Cordova stuff. He wanted Memphis out there.
Those moves right there are about dollars and cents.
Yeah.
That's a dollar and
cents.
It
sure
move.
is.
Yep.
But he would have a sign in the media room, your Dateline is Memphis. and the great Phil Cannon was on top of that. Matt Michelle joined us on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line, Sissy's Log Cabin. They'll be with us next week at SEC Media Days. They're with us year-round, and we appreciate it so much. They are the official jeweler of the hometown teams like the Memphis Grizzlies and the Tigers, huge supporters of Tigers athletics. And when we get into the football season, every Monday at 4:30 on these Mondays, they'll bring us to look back at the weekend in the SEC, that great location at 4542 Poplar. 9,000 square foot store in Laurelwood with expanded lines for Rolex, Cartier, diamonds, and more. Sissy's, they have the Mid-South's largest selection of one-of-a-kind jewelry, engagement rings, wedding bands. For all those special moments in your life, that's where you need to go. Since 1970, with all the great locations across the Mid-South, Sissy's, they offer a selection of diamonds, estate jewelry, and fine gifts. Official jeweler for the Memphis Grizzlies, and at FedEx Forum with the Floor Seat Lounge. And they'll be with us next week at SEC, and they'll be with us at the FedEx St. Jude Championship with the official with leaderboard updates all week from Sissy's Log Cabin. Unsurpassed value, exceptional service, expansive selection, and an extraordinary shopping experience, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry. We break now. When we come back, we'll look at what's trending from around the world of sports, a few things. Well, I'll ask you how much you guys have been watching Wimbledon. You're listening to Sports Time.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Surprise the family with a new club car and experience the best golf cart in the industry. A new golf cart is perfect for cruising the neighborhood, enjoying yourself at the lake, turning heads on the course, and just having something reliable to use around the yard. Ladd's has you covered with new and used golf cars. The new club car Onward, available in electric or gas and a variety of colors and features. Ladd's goes beyond the green. Whitten and I-40 or online at lads.net.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Getting engaged is one of life's most spectacular occasions. And when you find your ring at Sissy's Log Cabin, the promise of a lifetime begins with our promise to always provide unmatched quality, superior service, and brilliant natural diamonds. Find your dream engagement ring, wedding bands, and more when you shop Sissy'sLogCabin.com or stop by any of our 7 locations. Begin the rest of your lives brilliantly, only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
To NST, it's never just another case. It's your shot at getting life back on track. Real help, real heart. 35 years and still winning. NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000 or go online at nstlaw.com.
Newsflash! Family Leisure needs your help. Family Leisure has a warehouse full of inventory and they need it cleaned out. So do your part to make room for new items and get great deals on almost everything. Listen up. All in-stock patio furniture is up to 80% off. You can get a 4-piece deep seating set for under $1,000. Chaise lounges. You buy one, you're gonna need another. And that other one will be half off. All Hollywood furniture is now 20 to 30% off. You buy any dining table and you're going to get an umbrella absolutely free. Now, is financing available? Oh, you better believe it. Special financing is a go. To sum it all up, Family Leisure has got to clear out its warehouse inventory, which means you are going to rack up on the savings. Help Family Leisure clear out the warehouse. Family Leisure, Winton Road and I-40, where family and fun come together to clear out the warehouse.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Still a few rain showers out here in certain parts of town as it continues to build on 240 getting on to 385 Billmores. Parkway's gotten heavier as you head out past Hacks Crossroads towards Collierville. A little bit heavier than it was 40 East over here at Sycamore View Road. Still some volume at times on 40 East passing Germantown. Parkway continuing out into Fayette County. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, your diamond engagement ring headquarters this bridal season. Stop by and see them this week at Weimer's Jewelry on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
We're not going to mention any names. Darian, should I ever tell all these stories on there?
Of course not. Of course not.
Should I write a book?
Oh, yes. Yeah, tell all
Well,
of
if I can't tell them on there, why would I write a book about
Oh,
it?
it's all better once we're long and gone.
That's
You
right.
write it, and once we get it out there, it's out there.
And Darian, I know,
It's out
and I know out there in the podcast world, there's a lot of great work being done. I'm probably missing out being a podcast agnostic.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no.
But here's what I don't understand. I'll take it totally personally here.
Yeah.
Let's say in this building right here, me and Greg Gaston, we started doing a podcast. Well, if I'm the management of this station, what are you doing on that podcast? You're not doing 7 to 10 and 3 to 6 that we're paying you for.
Well, the easy answer is that
The immediacy?
The immediacy, the how opinionated you can get without it being.
Shouldn't I be doing that here?
Yeah, but I think where I
This
guess
should be unvarnished.
I guess I should take the gloves off and say, well, you can curse. You can absolutely.
Well, I'm not going to do that, even though I curse horribly.
But I
and
guess
you know I do.
And that's
but
where the podcast.
But I'm not going to with people hearing
They
know I do, and I know I do.
But that's the kick to podcasts.
And it's
people
the single
want to
worst
hear that.
habit I have, and I drink.
I think myself too, but that's the one kick. They want when you're doing it such as a podcaster, the viewer feels like you're being raw with them, like because you're letting out the expletives and
I'm
so on.
being
and
raw
so on.
with them here without
I know
cursing.
it's just hey, it's media, it's TV magic, call it whatever you want, but that's the train of thought.
So we know. TV can't even get up to the little bitty words that.
I'm strangely enough, cable TV has, and I'm not talking the
Sure
Cinemax.
has.
I was watching like
Cable
Family,
has.
and it just was. I was like, oh my goodness.
No, even cable news.
Yes.
I mean, some of the things that they repeat and say,
You couldn't
I'm
have
going,
done
you
it.
used to could
Yeah,
not
you
do
couldn't
that.
do- you couldn't do
and
it.
I still
You
don't,
couldn't
and
do
I'm
it.
not
You
going
couldn't
to.
do it. No.
Even though some of the little bitty words, we know the ones that aren't. Some of the little bitty words are acceptable now. But I see people go, man, you're gonna get the real unvarnished, real story
selling
from me, and I'm thinking. Well, give that to your listeners every day because I have a podcast. I have people ask me, Brett, you ought to do a podcast.
right
I go, I got one.
You
It's
absolutely
456 WHBQ.com.
But that's the
everything.
TV magic. That's the 100% TV magic of it. You're giving them real and authenticity, but they don't realize it unless it's on a podcast. That's the selling point.
unless you're-
and now I get to sell
You
my
know I'm not arguing with you.
authenticity.
So you're saying it's really not podcast worthy unless you're vulgar.
There you go.
Well, I'm gonna pass on that because I think we got enough
That's
of that.
that's the kicker to it, right? I mean, unless the podcast is not meant to be that, and we can all think, well, let's say Sesame Street. We don't want to see a Sesame Street where Big Bird is unleashing.
No.
Where Snuffleupagus is all of a sudden unhinged.
So you're saying I'm Big Bird?
No, not that. But
Maybe Barney the Purple Dinosaur.
Maybe Barney, but we don't want to see. That's not
No,
what we
we
came
don't-
for.
we don't want
but
Barney
but
being
if,
crude.
but if I'm watching Landon and John Harden and they are not in these four walls, they are on their own time. I expect every word that they cannot say that they want to be said.
All right.
Otherwise, what am I listening
It's
for?
one of my big reluctance and why I have just completely. I'm 3 years into. I don't even hit retweet. I'm done because I don't want anything there to get me in trouble here, especially with retirement date kind of circled.
Absolutely.
And I see a lot of people in the name of trying to be unvarnished and really bring it end up getting in trouble.
Absolutely. And as they should, because a lot of times they do go over the top. There's
still a line?
There's still
Even for podcasts?
there's a line because when you're listening to podcasts, you don't want to be turned off by. I'm not going to use the word offended. When you're dealing with podcasts, you want it to placate to your heart, your mind, what you want. Once you start doing otherwise, you turn people off, and now you've lost them.
And here's another thing that when I do, and I've been on more podcasts than I've ever listened to, and I find myself on those. Well, they're not hitting a break. They're not, and man, they want you on. I was on one Sunday afternoon for an hour 10. I thought, come on, we don't keep anybody more than 18 minutes.
No breaks, Lindy. You hear that? No breaks.
We experienced that not long ago when our Phantom was
Well,
working.
I've done it. I've done it here too.
Where you had to go straight through?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Straight through. I've had it a couple of times. In fact, and it was one of those times, kind of this time of year. Well, I know it was because he was slain. He was killed on the 4th of July. The late Steve McNair. I had the next day a lot of vacation. Had it by myself, and it couldn't be helped. Severe weather blows through, and we had nothing. But I had taken 2 reamful of notes, and then finally in my last hour, I could get a guest on, and I got Joe Biddle from Nashville to talk about Steve McNair. And the late great Joe Biddle was very emotional. He was sobbing on the air about losing Steve McNair, and he had this line, and some on the text line, and back then on the fax line, in various ways to engage, were offended by this line, and he meant it lovingly. He said, "I didn't know 4 shots would kill that tough son of a gun."
Yeah,
that's what he said.
None of us did.
Airwaves with me.
None of us did. And that was a somber day.
But that was a day that it was. You were just having to riff. We weren't throwing the commercials, and sometimes it happened. But
but thank God podcasts weren't around then, because imagine that day. The speculation, once the speculation started of who and what was around, that thing would have went so many different places, and the people that affected most is the family.
Bingo.
The wife, the kid, like the people, the immediacy. Again,
like
I said,
with that
the
word,
immediacy,
speculation.
the speculation.
Imagine podcast Twitter during the slow speed chase.
Absolutely. There would have. I mean, it would have broken the internet, because so many people would have turned into See It reporter. There would have been so many. I have to chime in on what's going on inside that Bronco. What happened before? We should have never. I never liked them since the Hurts days. Like all kinds of stuff would have come out. So just thank goodness it didn't happen until it happened, because sports were in a purer form back then. I just wanted to watch Michael.
And we've always. Or I've always kind of heard this, imagine the media scrutiny, and if the media enterprise had been then like it was even in the 40s of the years that Babe Ruth played.
Yeah.
Because I hope I'm not breaking news. Yeah. He was no Cub Scout.
Yeah, absolutely. The advancement of the funness, I think, would have fallen short. We'll just say that you couldn't have advanced some of those.
They wrote it very Rockwellian, Mayberry then when it wasn't, but that's okay.
Yeah, even like the Teddy Williams thing, it would not have advanced his stardom one bit. I mean, it just
would have worked against him.
1,000% would have worked against him. Then then they would have felt like the Barry Bonds treatment. They would have gone into hiding. Many years would have passed, and we would have just wanted to see a picture of them at some point in time.
See, I think we owe it to the listener to always be frank, candid, and bring it. You don't have to be on a podcast.
Yep.
We should always and be fearless.
But there are some, and they monetize it. They hold back.
They do.
They tease you. Yeah. They headline you to their whatever it is, and that's where they monetize. That's the world we're in.
You're so right. And there's one, and this is not sports, but there's one with a very big national platform, and everything is coming up tonight on this and on that, and you can buy it at X amount.
And they have that information in their hand, just like I have right now. Breaking news. Paulo Banchero, 5 years, $287 million.
Worth every penny.
Mike Miller signed that deal.
Way to go, Mike Miller.
Mike Miller
of Orlando Magic.
Live Sports Management. Good job, Mike.
Everybody thinking Orlando could be an East team to look out for next year.
They absolutely can.
If it's not Cleveland or New York.
They absolutely can.
I think Atlanta's in that group.
That kid's a star. You thought a little was placed too much on his shoulders, because I don't know. I'm pretty sure you don't play the video games, but he was one of the few high schoolers that had the NIL where he was on the 2K game as a high schooler. Cooper Flagg, I don't think, can say that. I just don't think that he can say that. And he turned out to be every bit.
Who will be the better Dookie, Banchero or Flagg, in the NBA over the next 10, 12, 15?
There's some so special about Flagg. I don't want to say Paolo and be wrong, because there's something truly special. If you're taking the floor and LeBron is almost in awe of you, speaking of Cooper holding him, saying, I see myself in you. He didn't say that about Paolo. There's something about Cooper that I believe in. I didn't believe it at first initially.
And in a good place.
And in a good place. I fell in love and I bought the Cooper hype after he played that USA team. And everyone out there said he was a top 5 player on that court.
Today I was at Jason's Deli, and it was delicious. And Jason's Deli, they will be with us next week at SEC Media Days and at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. And they're with us year-round, and they bring more to the table because it's a family thing at Jason's Deli. And if you've got an event coming up, let them take care of it for you. And I know soon, really soon, we're going to be back to a lot of back-to-school events. Let them take care of it. Same day, last minute, orders welcomed. You step aside, they step in, and they really excel for every meal. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, wholesome food forever. It's a family thing at Jason's Deli, whether you're dining in, getting it to go, or getting it delivered. And it's healthy. First franchise in the nation to be trans fat free. They were on the health kick before it got cool. They knew it was the right thing to do, and it's all about choice at Jason's Deli, regardless if you seek a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids meals, or if you'd like to invent your own via the Build Your Own selection, you will be delighted at Jason's Deli. Speaking of building your own, that salad bar in every location, over 30 items to choose from for you to prepare it however you would like. Plenty of organic food to choose from as well. A location, I promise you, wherever you are within the sound of my voice, there's a location near you, close to us, on Ridgeway Road across from MUS in Park Place, by the University of Memphis at Poplar and Highland, down in Olive Branch, out in Cordova. Off the menu, you can order the Mesa chicken salad, the nutty mix-up salad, my favorite, the taco salad. All the great locations, all the great food, and in all those locations, complimentary free ice cream on these hot summer days, year-round, but especially pleasing on these hot summer days. Check them out online as well at jasonsdeli.com. When we come back, we wrap it up with Crunch Time, presented by Moe and Humdingers. That's next.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Spring is in the air, and it's the perfect time to grill, chill, and save with Choates. Install a new generator, tankless water heater, or Carrier HVAC system, and you'll get your choice of a free green egg grill or 36 months no-interest financing. Stay powered during storms. Enjoy endless hot water and slash your cooling costs this summer with the high-efficiency Carrier system, and grill some slow-smoked barbecue on us. But hurry, this special ends soon. And if you're dealing with plumbing or electrical problems, Choates is here for you too. Give us a try and take $60 off your repair. Leaky faucet, clogged drain, broken outlet, lights flickering? Call Choates and save $60 on your plumbing or electrical repair service. Call 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com today. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
Newsflash! Family Leisure needs your help. Family Leisure has a warehouse full of inventory and they need it cleaned out. So do your part to make room for new items and get great deals on almost everything. Listen up. All in-stock patio furniture is up to 80% off. You can get a 4-piece deep seating set for under $1,000. Chaise lounges. You buy one, you're gonna need another. And that other one will be half off. All Hollywood furniture is now 20 to 30% off. You buy any dining table and you're going to get an umbrella absolutely free. Now, is financing available? Oh, you better believe it. Special financing is a go. To sum it all up, Family Leisure has got to clear out its warehouse inventory, which means you are going to rack up on the savings. Help Family Leisure clear out the warehouse. Family Leisure, Winton Road and I-40, where family and fun come together to clear out the warehouse.
Air. We breathe it naturally. Simple, right? Not so fast. The air you breathe could be hazardous to your health. Don't guess. Be sure with a phone call to the Memphis Mold Inspector, the only licensed mold assessor in the Mid-South. Call the Memphis Mold Inspector to check the air quality inside your home or office. Call 901-292-7788 for clean air and peace of mind. 901-292-7788 or visit memphismoldinspector.com.
Gary, your famous service director of Lexus in Memphis. Our service department makes the big more than just a place where you get your oil change. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration and repair, solar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you expect from an oil change. Please check out our website, weekends, February 1, check out our specials, hours of operation. If you like to do it in person, please reach out to our receptionist, 271-519.
It's summer. Time to enjoy long days, lazy nights, and great food. Because Uber Eats has deals all summer long. So, when hunger strikes, don't sweat it. Delicious deals are just a tap away on Uber Eats. Enjoy all your favorite grocery items delivered straight to you. Get ice cream, soda, and snacks from your favorite stores like Wegmans and CVS and make the most of every moment. Now that sounds like a good summer. Order now on Uber Eats. Terms apply. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about everything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its community and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Getaway Sports Bar, the best kept secret in town. Open noon to 1:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Garvin, the owner, created this SEC NFL Dream Bar over 20 years ago. You'll never miss a minute of action. 10 TVs, 5 70-inch TVs for all the big games. Rack them up on 6 pool tables. Coldest beer in town. Grab your pool stick and get you some good bar grub. 100% Angus burgers, big and moist chicken tenders. Daily happy hour Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. with long neck and mystics. 225 Getaway Sports Bar, 4632 Winchester.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Humdinger's Corporate Catering. Enjoy tacos made with crunchy slaw, grilled fish, and chicken, and the best taco sauce in town. Find out more, call Jenny Nash at 901-606-3172.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Sportstime on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Brian Jacobs.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is Geraldo. It is crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskell.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
Crunch Time today is brought to you by Moe's Southwest Grill. Need a crunchy bite to eat? Head to your local Moe's today for the Band Tea BOGO. Rep your favorite artist or band's tea in honor of National Day of Rock and Roll for buy one, get one on entrees. Moe's.com is your go-to for all your taco crunch time emergencies. Gentlemen?
Good stuff, Landon. And tomorrow, Darian's going to join us on the phone at 4:30, and we're going to do the local coming out of the coma takes, because I went into a coma cracking on the podcasters and forgot.
I was ready for him, too.
So you're going to join us tomorrow at 4:30 on the
we'll
phone.
be here. We can do it.
I went into a coma. Explain that.
We got to get you out of it.
63 explained a lot of it.
We got to get you out of it.
Here's what I learned today. I expect 2 to 3 bids out of the Big 12, the champion and 1 to 2 lost teams. And it won't shock anyone if Baylor on opening Friday night wins at home against Auburn. If Hugh Freeze thinks the golf playing story is big now, try starting 0-1.
All right, Brett, here's what I learned today is that being Memphis Tiger basketball players, when you turn pro, you actually can succeed. Today, I learned that former Tiger Josh Minot has signed a 2-year deal with the Boston Celtics. And don't look now, that man, Dane Danger, was on the floor last night for Miami. He scored 13 points. And that's even...
Hope he catches on.
Yeah, I hope he catches on. He looked like an NBA player out there. I mean, his body, his movement, it was awesome.
What is it you could have done without today?
What I could have done without today is knowing that a guy that signed a 15-year, over $700 million deal did not make the All-Star team.
Pipe down there, Darian.
That's what I could have done. I am so upset. And I understand that he got hot later, but his cold start.
Cheap shot,
yes.
Low blow.
Knockout.
And knockout punch.
Cold start.
Cold
yes.
start.
But
and I think
he's
that
heating up, and he's fantastic.
That money is hot, brother. You cannot.
Big D gets an A for this. He stayed with that theme, needling at you all day.
That was the theme of the show today.
Absolutely.
Was hate on one soda.
I could have done without.
I could have done without the only winning manager in Washington Nationals history.
And GM.
And GM. They're both out. They hadn't won 71 since winning it all in 2019. They won that World Series. That's the only one between the Expos and Nationals ever. And now it makes Oliver Marmol fourth in seniority in National League skippers. Where do you want to beam to tonight?
I'm beaming to Salt Lake City. I'm going to see the number 5 pick, Ace Bailey, go against the Memphis Grizzlies. And hopefully Meshack is out there tonight. Though I've seen reports that say he's going to make his debut tonight. So hopefully he's out there. May not see Jalen Wells. I don't expect him.
We had a Mr. Irrelevant be like Purdy in football here in Memphis with Meshack.
We'd wrap our arms around him and embrace him because he's already said his favorite player from the Memphis area was Tony Allen.
I believe him. I don't think he's just saying
Tony
it
Allen.
either. I think he really sincerely believes, thinks that. Beam me to the Rockies, because the Rockies and Red Sox tonight at Fenway. The Rockies really have an all-star, and he's a Tiger, an Arlington Tiger, and a Memphis Tiger. Let's go see him tonight at Fenway versus the Red Sox. 26 Tigers listed all-time at Baseball Ref with Memphis State ties. Now, but some of them, like Tim McCarver, he didn't play at Memphis State. He may have gone to some classes at Memphis State, but he went straight to the show at 17. The Gagliano boys, I think they went straight to the pros. They may have gone to some classes later at Memphis State, but Baseball Ref lists 26, and my favorite, the late, great Charlie Lee. What are you watching tonight?
Tonight, again, like I said, headed back to the house to put on the tube and watch me some Summer League tonight.
I'm gonna keep a close eye on Rays at Detroit. Sign me up right now for that being an ALCS. That would be a good ALCS.
No Wimbledon for you?
It would be in the little bitty ballpark in St. Pete, though. Dodgers at Milwaukee, the Don Sutton Bowl of sorts. Phillies 53-37 at San Francisco against the Giants 48-42. The Phillies lead the East by 2 in the all-important loss column. Darian, it was a lot of fun. It
was. Landon, did you hear me try to sneak a Wimbledon in? He ain't having any of them.
No Wimbledon for old Brett.
I ain't watched the shot. Have y'all?
No Agassi, no Sampras. You know, I mean, I was.
After we lost the tennis tournament, I was done with tennis. I was really done with it beforehand and had to go over to it then. But after we lost the tennis tournament, no thank you on the tennis.
Hey, but kudos to Jake Paul being your number one. Hey,
6'3", 4'6", 8'9", who cares? Is how I see it. For Matt Michelle and for David Cobb, we want to thank them very much. And for Darian and for Landon, we'll be back with you tomorrow. I'm Brett. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Thank you for listening.
Where you'll have a great